Hello friends, and welcome to Teen Time. I'm Miss Maggie, and I'm here today to show you how to make necklaces and bracelets using washers. Let's see what materials we will need today. For today's Teen Time, we will need various size flat washers, some string, twine, or yarn, beads if you want to decorate with them, some paint or Sharpies, or both, to decorate our washers, and maybe a pair of scissors to cut the string in different lengths. For my first washer, I'm going to make a necklace, and I chose to use paint to decorate my washers. So I'm going to use a little bit of red just to kind of paint a base on my washer here. And if you don't have paint at home, there are some great recipes online on how to make homemade paint. You can also use nail polish if you have it available. Alright, we've got a little bit of red on here. Now I'm going to switch and I'm going to use some orange. Put in with it. Just going to give it a little bit darker hue here. And what I'm going for with this is I'm trying to make kind of a striped design. So you can kind of see with the orange and with the red itself. Use just a little more orange here. Alright, now I'm going to let that one dry, and I'm going to switch to another brush. Now if you don't have paint brushes at home, you can also use Q-tips or tissue paper or paper towels to paint with. And it's always good to have a cup of water on hand just in case. Now my other washer here, I'm going to use some yellow to paint. Now, if you're using paint, you're going to want to be sure to let these dry a little bit before you flip them over. Now, you don't have to do both sides of the washer, but I'm going to go ahead and do both sides just in case. There we go. I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to let mine sit and dry for a few minutes, and then we will switch and paint the other side. Now that I've let my washers dry, I'm going to assemble a necklace with this set. So I'm going to take my washers, and I'm actually going to stack them on top of each other. And I'm going to take some of that twine or string that I was using before, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the two ends together, like that. And I'm going to slip them through the hole of the washers. And I'm going to pull them through until we reach the end where it's looped. Now what I'm going to do here, this is the easiest way I find to attach washers, is I'm going to take these two loose ends and I'm going to tuck them through the loop at the other end. Just like that. And I'm just going to pull until that string tightens up around those two washers, just like that. Now this loose end, way down here, I'm just going to tie off into a knot. Now if you come and get one of the washer kits on Thursday from your local library, you can find a variety of washer sizes in there. and a variety of string colors. You may find that they are too long or too short for what you are doing, so you can always cut them down to length, should you choose to. Now I put a double knot in mine at the end here, just because I like everything to kind of stay in one place. And so that is our first washer necklace. Now I'm going to start on my second piece of washer jewelry. This time I think I'm going to make a bracelet. So I'm going to take another washer. This time I'm only going to use one washer. And I'm going to use some Sharpies to decorate it this time. Now always with permanent markers, you want to be careful because you don't want to get it on your clothes. It will stain and be very hard to get out. So I'm going to take my Sharpie, and this time I'm actually going to write things around my washer. So let's see. I think we will do there we go. And you'll want to let it sit for a few minutes, because I found that with Sharpies, if you touch it too soon, it'll smear the ink off of the washer itself. So just let it sit a couple, about a minute or two, and dry. I've let my washer sit for a few minutes just to make sure the ink doesn't rub off whenever I'm handling it. Now I'm going to add the string. Again, you may have to cut it into smaller sizes if you're going to make a bracelet or if you want to make a smaller necklace. So I'm going to use 2 different color string this time. I'm using a green and a pink. And you can use whatever colors you have available to you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a similar technique to last time. But first, I'm going to cut my string in half, because I'm actually going to use it on both sides of my washer. So I'm going to set 2 of them aside, and I'm going to use one set here, again putting the 2 loose ends together, like so, and I'm going to put them through the middle of my washer, just like that. And I'm going to take the loop end and the strings, and I'm going to put the loose strings through the loop and pull it tight. Like that. And I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to grab my strings that I'd set over on the edge of my table here. And I'm going to do the same exact thing and attach it to the other side of the washer. So loose ends going through the hole in the middle and out the back. And then we take our loop end and we slide it through and pull tight. Just like that. So now I've got strings holding either side of my washer. Now that I've got my strings attached, I think I'm going to get a little fancy with this one. So with the different colors, I'm actually going to take them and separate them, one color on each side, and I'm actually going to tie knots in mine. Now you can braid yours, you can leave it just as it is. You could even just use 1 color string, 2 colors, 3, however you decide. And the nice thing with this hemp rope here is that you can take it apart and redo it as many times as you want. If you don't like the colors, you can scrub the paint and the Sharpie off of the washer itself, or just paint over it and start anew. It's actually a really handy craft. So I'm going to keep going with the knots on mine. And I think what I want to do at this point is I want to add a bead to it, because the beads sound like a good idea. So I'm going to add a purple bead to mine because I like purple. I'm looking for my beads here. There they are. So I've got a purple bead here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to slide it down all 4 of my threads here. If I can get them all to fit in the hole here. Nice thing about pony beads is they've got that big opening. And so I'm going to get them right here, and I'm actually going to tie it into a knot to keep it still. Now you may want to let your bead move around on its own, but I like mine to be kind of stationary, I think. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got them all pulled through. And we're just going to tie this right into there. There we go. So that bead will stay still now. Like I said, if you decide once you get it attached, maybe I don't like that, you can always take the knot back out. And remove the bead. And then you're back to your design that you had before. So I took some time and finished the knots on my bracelet. Now I've got some little long strings at the end that I left, so anytime I wear it I can tie it around my wrist. But every time you wear it you'll have to tie it and untie it, unless you get some sort of clasp from like Walmart or Hobby Lobby, somewhere like that. Now I found once I did my knots, if I try to put my bracelet on, it's a little tight. Which is fine. I could still wear it like a bracelet. But something else you can do is if you like the design and it's not quite long enough to fit, is you can attach a key ring to one end and make a really neat keychain with it. All of the supplies we used today in our teen time can be picked up from your local Walmart or any store that carries craft supplies and hardware. We will also have kits, like this one, available on Thursday at your local library during the same times that we have our food art supply kits. You can pick up one of these kits, and it contains 3 different colored string, 15 beads, and 5 washers to get you started with your own crafts. I hope you had fun making washer art with us today. I'm Miss Maggie, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!